Hello.
Welcome back to Daylight Boomin'. I'm so sorry, guys. We missed a few weeks, but we're back with another fantastic episode. We're switching it up just a little bit. We've got a few things to talk about. Guys, are you ready for this? Return to form?
Can't wait. Yeah, Siege, you had some big changes in your life. What's under the hat?
I chipped a tooth.
Oh,
yeah.
And also I shaved all my hair off. Yeah, I donated it.
How did you? Whoa!
I donated it. I was about 10.5 inches. It was 10.5 inches.
Your tooth.
I chipped my tooth off though. So I was delivering, right?
Yeah. You get injured delivering. I noticed.
Get all the freaking time. This was the dumbest thing too. I'm literally just like trying to open my water bottle, and it just chipped my tooth off.
Did it hurt pretty bad?
It didn't hurt at all, actually.
What kind of water bottle? What style water bottle?
Like the ones with like the nipple tip.
Sure, nipple tip.
Yeah.
Nipple tip.
What is it?
We all know about the nipple tip.
Is it a Hydro, or a Yeti, or a
no,
Polar
it's
Camel?
like the Chippewa. I like the Chippewa brand.
Is it a result of weak enamel?
It might be because I don't have the best teeth health.
You like
a little bit.
You grabbed the water bottle with your teeth.
I was like trying to pull it, and this is a thing I've done many times before.
The nipple top.
Yeah.
It's like the same as like a Gatorade when you're like easy teeth to open.
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
No. It just
popped
happened. Off, and I'm like, oh. Like now my tooth is sensitive to like really cold stuff.
Sure, I can only imagine.
I can still, for the most part.
I think anything teeth is like, ugh.
Yeah, no, and it's
Really?
like the fact that it's my front tooth. It just
Now you
looks
look
bad.
like SpongeBob
I
now.
cried
Really?
when it happened. I was so upset.
Siege, I agree
genuinely.
because for some reason, like teeth is such a sign of like beauty.
Everybody has
you know?
dreams.
Yeah, like if you go like
nightmares of your
this
teeth falling out.
and you have a crack in your tooth.
Yeah, I know.
And
Me too.
I already don't think I have very pretty looking teeth. So for something like that to go and happen, it just makes me want
Show
to
your
die.
smile.
So what's your plan moving forward? Are you gonna rock it? I mean, it could be a fashion
I'm gonna
statement.
try to get it fixed.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Tyson has the same thing.
That's
Yeah.
right. You know
Bucks
what?
Tyson.
Screw Mike Tyson.
Michael's-
He should have freaking beat Jay. That's the first thing we're gonna talk about. This rigged freaking fight. Okay. Jake
wouldn't say
Paul
rigged.
should not have won. I've seen the videos of Mike Tyson training and practicing.
Yeah.
Dude was did you see that?
I did see the videos. I did.
What do you think is
I
right?
watched
Part of me
the
wonders
fight.
how much it was for the hype, though, and part of me wonders if Mike Tyson really was capable. Like, he's 58 years old.
But
Yeah.
like, look at his like athletic abilities still from the first round. Like from the first round.
I think it's crazy the fact that he's the dude. Going by looks alone is that yoked, and he's like,
Yeah.
and what? I mean, if you've seen the Hangover movie, like he put on a lot of weight after he retired too. Like the fact he's able to drop all of that again for training. Like he was kind of like he got fat, which is you totally understand. You
Right.
know? Like I plan on getting fat when I retire.
Me too. Dude, me too. For real.
I want to be bedridden.
I want to be like those 4 like grandparents at the beginning of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, just sharing the bed. Actually, that should be us. We should all do that when we
We
retire.
can just podcast the whole time.
A 24-hour-long podcast.
Are we
we'll
gonna
live stream
lay the
whole-
same way that they lay, where it's 2 beds side by side?
Yeah.
That's such a goated setup,
Yeah,
actually.
I had to be
Dude,
right
for
next
the
to Jackie.
podcast too, that would be crazy.
Yes, for the podcast. And then imagine like you put up monitors above so you can game. Goated, man.
Dude, let's do it.
Okay,
What
what games are we gonna be running?
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
We
You get
Fortnite,
Fortnite.
Call of Duty.
Hopefully, still
And
be
our
a
children
Call
are
of
gonna have to
Duty.
care for us, and it's gonna be like really hazardous for them, and it's gonna get in the way of their personal schedules and the families are trying to build.
Until one of them buys a chocolate bar and gets the golden ticket,
Golden
we can
ticket.
go to the chocolate factory.
Yep. But only one of us can go. Min
I'm
Lou?
going.
I'm the kid for the Charlie. I'm the kid from Charlie.
No, you gotta be an old man.
What?
We're gonna be old.
Whichever
we can de-age ourselves.
Just remember, whichever one is
At
going
the future.
can't be bedridden with fatness. So who wants to sacrifice not being bedridden?
I'm out.
Yeah,
Eddie,
I'm gonna
come
be
on,
a
man.
fat.
You're gonna find an onion ring under my man tit. Huh? You're gonna find multiple onion rings under my man tit.
You're gonna find mold under his man.
The whole ecosystem.
Burger King
going
onion
on.
rings.
You know, like the toe jam that you find in between your toenail and your toe.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
just gonna be under my entire.
It's gonna be like a
no.
whole world with like clouds. It's like the Avatar world
like
under
you,
there.
you break it off and take
You
a
got-
bite of wax.
No, Eddie has like these like weird lumps for some reason.
Weird growth. Bed rashes along my anus.
You got big hemorrhoids.
Yeah, so those of you that thought Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a cute, fun little film,
You don't even
think
know the
about
half
that
of it.
next
You don't
time.
know the half.
How do you
No.
think those old people used the bathroom?
By walking.
Think about us.
They couldn't walk.
Look
Adult
at Mike
diapers.
Tyson.
Yeah.
And they had to eat cabbage stew.
Cabbage stew, and poor Charles was trying to provide for his family.
Get Charles on it.
You know, I asked the question the other day as an icebreaker. I've been big into icebreaker questions lately.
You can adjust this to make it taller if you want to.
Like, I love asking people icebreaker questions.
Guys,
They're
we
so
got some
fun.
new podcast equipment.
I know,
so
this is
like, you know, this
awesome.
is
Are
this
these
is
new
some
too?
cra-
These stands?
These stands are new.
Yeah, I was
brand
gonna
new.
say, I feel
I
like-
bought them from China. They showed up so fast.
How much were they?
Love you, China. Like $4 each. Love you, China.
$4 each. What
Dude,
a steal.
Amazon
Shout
was
out to
like
Temu.
Amazon was like $20 for one.
Really?
Yeah. AliExpress $20 for 4.
No way.
And
What
they
a
showed
steal.
up within like 2 weeks, dude. That was crazy.
go.
I love it.
And you
That's
got your
neat.
credit card information stolen.
That's right.
Let's go.
and then what you do is you go to Amazon, you buy the exact same thing, get it sooner, and then when you get the China ones, you say that the Amazon ones never came, so then you send them back, and then you get your money back on the Amazon.
Sure,
You just
sure.
Scam them. Just scam
Refunded.
them. They're gonna
Yep.
scam us, so why not just?
So
do
why
it to
not get ahead of the curve?
I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you gonna say? That you had an icebreaker?
Oh yeah. Icebreaker. Love icebreakers. So I asked a question the other day. I says to them, I says, if you could choose to live in the world of any movie or TV show, which world would you pick? And one of my immediate thoughts was Willy Wonka. But then I thought about it and I was like, actually, no, because yeah, the Chocolate Factory is great, it's glorious, but everything outside the Chocolate Factory looks very grim and glum.
Yeah.
It looks like
It almost
everyone's
looks like
poverty-stricken.
It looks like North Korea. You
It
know?
does.
You'd have to be Willy Wonka to truly
I mean,
enjoy
I
it.
haven't
do.
seen the newest Wonka
And really,
Because
adaptation.
if you're,
If you
an,
think
if
about
you're
it-
an Oompa Loompa, you're just laboring all day.
And if you think about it,
Loompa.
I mean, you get into that. Say you even get into the factory, you live in that world, you somehow get into the factory. I mean, that's a feat in itself.
Right.
But now
Yeah.
you're in, and you're in the main room. If you can get past all his contraptions or whatever he has,
and you're dealing with Oompa Loompas who celebrate and dance to your faulties
Demise.
and death.
and once you're in the room, let's say you get to where you want to be, and you've got free range. You can do whatever you want. You're gonna have max 2 hours of fun before you feel sick. You're gonna puke.
Yeah.
I mean, how much can you eat?
And
Yeah,
and,
how
and,
much?
and
Sugar.
Wonka is such an innovator. You don't know if that stick of gum you're grabbing turns you into a blued berry.
You have
You
no
don't know if
idea.
you don't know if that chocolate's gonna make you fly.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
We're gonna make you fat.
The consequences
Yep.
are
I
unforeseen.
mean, I ate a piece of
Unforeseen.
Wonka's chocolate and I had an erection for 12 hours.
That's
Yep.
horny chocolate.
It was horny chocolate.
Horny chocolate.
We
that's
love
the
horny chocolate.
You reached the experimental side of the chocolate
Yes,
factory.
that's
the truly
the
experimental
freaky side. of
Yeah,
the
it's called
side.
Viagra Chocolate Edition.
It's called the Diddy chocolate.
The Oompa Loompas are let's
P.
just
Diddy's.
say,
The Oompa Loompas that when night comes around.
they're putting in
The-
work.
that full moon comes around. Oh, they get busy.
They get busy.
I mean,
busy.
Wonka must get lonely with just his Oompa Loompas.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he has needs too. He's got
Poor Timothy Chalamet.
Wonka's.
I like that icebreaker though. What fantasy world would you live
Yes.
in? I don't know
So
why I
hard.
thought of this immediately. I think just because it's always been like my favorite TV show, but I thought of The Walking Dead. But realistically, you probably wouldn't want to live in that
Yeah.
universe like a zombie
But like
apocalypse.
if your life played out like a scripted movie, it'd be really fun because like any pursuit you get into, you know you're gonna make it out.
Dude,
you
yeah.
know?
Dude, yeah. I mean, yeah, you're basically living in a if you actually got put in a zombie like apocalypse, you know how many people are realistically left in the world? Not many.
Not
so
many.
you are a protagonist.
You are.
Yeah.
You are
and
the
your
main
death
character.
will be
I feel
significant.
like the movie, it has to be usually it has to be like more of a wholesome film, because wholesome films, like, they don't hold the politics and the scandals and the schemes that like even superhero movies hold. Like The Boys, at first you're like, oh yeah, you can get superpowers, but then think about the corruption behind that you'd have to deal with. You know, so
Dude,
it has
also
to be
the political
like,
power
I'm
you just
thinking
have.
along the PG to G range.
Yeah, if you really wanted a place to live
Like
in,
a
you'd
near
have to.
utopia.
I was gonna say The Incredibles because you have the whimsicality of it all, and at the same time, like
Whimsicality.
You get to see Mrs. Incredible.
the weight of the consequences of anyone's given actions.
Yeah, you
don't
just-
seem as weighty.
Sure.
No,
Or
I
Slick
agree
Trigger.
with
I mean,
man.
like,
You do just want to live in the same universe as Mrs. Incredible.
That's why I'm going.
I think talking about a lack of consequence for actions within film, I think Slick Trigger's perfect for that. Because Commissioner
Live in the
Robbie,
world of Slick
Commissioner
Trigger.
Robbie killed a man for no reason and was able to get by just giving off his police badge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone really has a background either. So you
Zero
could,
consequences
right,
in
zero.
that world. Yeah, that might be.
And you can die many times. Just ask Jalen. How many times can you die?
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't a lack of resources on the production
Basically
end.
invincible, if we're
Invincible,
talking about
yeah.
the context of the universe. Okay, guys, so I have a little segment here that I wanted to bring up. This new
So
segment.
excited.
You guys
So
are ready for
excited.
this? It's called the Midwest Minute. We are going to talk about some quirky news stories out of the Midwest and get our takes on them so you guys can hear what we think. Maybe bring them to light. Bring you some joy or something.
Yep.
Okay, so we're coming up on Thanksgiving.
We love it.
But Halloween just passed. How was your guys' Halloween, by the way?
Pretty boring.
Pleasant.
Yeah.
It was a fine Halloween.
Yeah, I didn't
boring.
really do much. I watched
Yeah.
a couple horror movies though. It was
a
nice.
pleasant
Yeah.
Halloween.
I don't think I got around to a single horror film.
I watched
That's crazy.
Smile 2.
Yo,
It's
I
a
wanna
bad
watch
movie,
that.
but
That's a shame.
cinematography is peaked.
Oh, and the effects too have got to be really good. Like the practical effects I've seen.
Pretty good.
Cool.
Anyways, okay, so yeah, Halloween just passed. Are you guys familiar with Des Moines, Iowa?
Yeah.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Just with it in general.
Are you the town?
Yes.
Des Moines, you've heard
I'm
of
aware
it?
that there's a
Yeah.
town called Des Moines.
I think I've been.
Yeah, I
been
actually
to
went recently too. I went for a concert for the home team, and actually while I was on my way there, I heard something. This is interesting. In like sometime in the 1960s or 70s or something, Des Moines made a law where children in Des Moines couldn't go trick-or-treating on Halloween, and they would do it on a specific day before Halloween, usually the day before, but sometimes it was, some other day, whatever, and they would call it Beggar's Night. And instead of saying trick or treat, the children were like encouraged to like share like poetry or like a performance or something. But over the years, it most often came to like just kids like telling a joke to get their candy. And for the first time this year, this just happened, they had Beggar's Night on Halloween because there was a thunderstorm, and for the safety of all the kids, they pushed it back because it was going to be the night before Halloween. They pushed it back one night, so it happened on Halloween with the whole nation.
There's a lot to unpack here.
There's so much. So that's wild, right?
Yes.
That's weird.
Yes.
I for one, I love it. Actually, that's awesome.
Teaching
It's teaching kids that handouts is not how you get your way in the world.
You know what?
And yet it's called beggars.
It's called Beggar's Night.
really
Yeah.
a-
So at the same time.
Yeah, it's really diminishing the status level of the child.
Well, you aren't special.
No, I mean,
I think
you are and you aren't.
I think it's hilarious in the sense that you just go begging for you're begging.
You
for
are
candy.
basically, I mean, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. I don't know. What do they say these days?
Well, I mean, it gets rid of the rambunctious mischievousness that is held behind All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
And instead, in places, some real work ethic.
So you're telling me that there was a law that you couldn't
It was-
trick or treat on Halloween
there
night.
was a law passed.
Is there a reason?
I think it was to do with the safety. Like it was in the law, literally said for the safety of the youth.
You could do the exact same thing on any other night, just
no,
not on Halloween.
They wouldn't allow you.
Really?
Yeah, it was a law. It was a law.
So just trick or treating as a concept was outlawed.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Whoever pushed that law definitely got some good
if you were going
plenties.
trick or treating, you weren't going trick or treating. You had to bring a joke with you.
Really?
So I wanted to with this. What would you do to get your piece of candy if you lived in West Des Moines?
Siege, this is a wonderful segment.
I will just end up flirting the person who's right in front of me to get my candy.
You
Fighting
do what?
them.
Fighting them?
No, flirting.
Oh, flirting with them.
You just schmooze.
Oh, you'd schmooze them up.
I just schmooze them.
What if they open the door as like a 77-year-old dude? Then what?
You have some pretty eyes, sir.
and the guy will laugh. As
That's a strong jawline.
Strong John.
Even the guys and the women.
And then he
will
says,
like
"Step
it.
inside."
I'll be like, no, but you can still get my candy though.
You can still
I'm
give-
down to just gums, buddy.
Yeah. So, would you guys tell a joke? Would you perform some poetry?
I
Would you do
think-
Jack? Would you break dance?
Breakdance. Oh my goodness, no! I'd suck at that.
Would you rap
they'd throw rocks at me?
Eminem's Not Afraid to run the person?
I think
that's
you-
poem right there.
You have to think about how much effort you're willing to put into it that particular year. If you can get a group of people, do you want to do a group performance? If you're going solo, maybe you want to run a little lighter and maybe go completely verbal. You know what I mean? Maybe you are running off a joke. Maybe you are
I
running
think
off.
the easiest thing to do would be to like do a costume and just like do basically a really good impression, and that as your performance.
That could be
Just, like,
good.
walk up.
It's a great idea.
The easiest
It's a great idea.
is like, you could do Trump or Biden
Yep.
or
Well, think
whoever.
about the people skills that kind of builds too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a fan of that.
That's what I'm
Social
saying.
skills,
I
yeah,
mean,
build
there's
social skills,
there's a lot
absolutely.
more to it than just like. I mean, kids these days they're so caught up in their phones.
And that's the parents' problems,
Yeah.
really. For
You know,
sure.
I heard
Shoving
an
it in front of them.
interesting take on that, by the way. Bit of a rabbit trail, but parents, I was talking to one the other day. His kids are the greatest kids on the planet. They're in 7th grade and 9th grade, and they can have full-grown conversations with it, like they're great at conversation. And he said one of the tough decisions that his wife and him had to make when they had kids was deciding to not give their kids phones.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's been a game changer, because think about it. You crave interaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're in a crowd of people, most people are like, oh, I just want to be on my phone. But when you don't have that, you crave conversation.
True.
Isn't that interesting?
True.
Well, because think about it, it's automatically awkward if you're with someone you kind of barely know and you have to drive 20 minutes somewhere with them, right? There's already that feeling of like, okay, I have to conversate with them, and why is that? Because that should be a norm, and that is important. I
Yeah.
think conversation is so important.
It is.
If you're not able to like conversate with most people,
Yeah.
like just
Sucks to be
small,
you.
small talk sucks. Obviously, it's hard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
It's
not sitting
easy.
here saying like you're terrible if you don't get anxiety from this. You're terrible if you feel like you can't.
Right.
Because like I've totally been in like scenarios, so many scenarios where I'm like, the last thing I want to do is force small talk. But it's also such a great skill to develop.
We're also all human, and there's so many things that you would be able to find to be able to relate with someone.
Yes.
I'd say almost most people on the planet.
And there is a fun way to have small talk. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
fun way to conversate. When you start talking about things you enjoy, food's always a great topic.
Yeah, weather's easy.
Weather's easy.
Easy.
And you're
How-
gonna
how's the
get those
weather?
people that don't want, they're really hard to kind of crack, you know.
Right.
But that's like when you kind of just pitch it to yourself as, okay, this is a bit of a challenge. Let's see what I can get out of it. And if you don't get anything out of it, who cares?
It's also entirely about your demeanor too,
This
and what
is
kind
true.
of
Do you
like
think so?
How you set the
emotion
vibe,
and
the tone.
energy.
Did you
Yeah.
know that in conversation, it's either, I think it's 7%. It's either 7 or 10%. I want to say 7% of how people interpret you. Only 7% is what you're actually saying.
You know
The
what?
other 93% is
Yeah.
everything else, your tone, your body language, facial expression.
Mm-hmm.
That carries 93%. Is that how you're
And
conversating?
I think connotation plays a big role in your words as well. I mean, your
Yeah.
word accuracy, the vibe you're setting with each and every word, And and it's like I might be overanalyzing it, but I think it's
think you
still
are.
it's important to know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
So like giving complex vocab. So like
I like to think that I have a
complex
higher
vocab.
IQ, but sometimes when you like try to exercise a thought, it's really hard to like verbalize it, And
Yeah.
that's what I struggle with most often is
Word accuracy, you think?
finding the right word in the right sequence to like make sure that it comes off as an understandable for every person.
Yeah,
The
because sometimes you're
articulation.
attacking it and
Yeah,
you just
my
sound like a
articulation.
lunatic.
I think Siege, you have very good word accuracy. You don't
years of practice.
yeah, and word accuracy is actually something that you can like get better. Like about a year or two ago, I was listening to a podcast and really noticed that they had great word accuracy. Like, I want to be better at that, and I felt like I've improved a little bit on it. But it's something that you can work on. But
Show us. Show us, please.
So much of it comes from like just socializing.
Yeah.
and honestly,
communication
like,
is not a talent;
absorbing.
it's a skill. you know?
Yes.
And
yeah.
something that Mitchell Olsen, you guys know Mitchell Olsen.
We love Mitchell.
We love Mitchell
Love you,
Olsen.
Mitch.
Love you, Mitchell.
Oh, we
Shout
gotta get
out.
him on that. We'll get him on.
Oh,
that.
he'd be so fun.
That'd be hilarious.
One thing that he told us that was like key, he said when you notice when anyone ever says or too much, they're not slowing down. He said so much of your word choices, your word accuracy can be achieved by just slowing down and not feeling like you have to get to the next thought, but just slowing down and articulating. It's a great piece of information.
Some people also sometimes use like the ums and uhs as a way of letting the other people around them know that I'm still talking and I'm not finished. Don't interrupt me. Absolutely. I know I do it sometimes.
You can utilize
Because I'll
them.
just be like, I'll finish a sentence and I'll be like, I'm not done.
Yes, that's so true. It's good
yeah,
insight.
yeah.
And you can use those to your advantage. You can
Absolutely.
utilize an or an sometimes it can make it feel more natural.
Yeah.
But at large, some people use them way too much and spam them just for the sake
And
of
the
trying to
word
finish
like,
a thought.
if you notice someone saying like, the moment you pick up on it, that's all you hear when
I
they're
do
talking
that
to you.
so much. And
I
sometimes
need to hear
it's
myself.
We all do it,
So-
and it's terrible.
When I'm talking.
and it sucks, but it's. I just almost said like there, because you can nearly put it in between any two words in a sentence.
We should almost, at
true.
this point, we should like bring a jar that says
A like jar?
Like jar.
Oh my goodness.
And we'll do pennies, small, not real small,
That'd be
because I
funny.
can't afford quarters. I can't afford to put
for
quarters.
those of you
$20
up to this
I
point
am
listening,
super broke.
Nickels, maybe I could do nickels.
for you
Yeah.
diehards, count how many likes we've said already without noticing, and put in the comments to this
I'm
point.
including this one right now. You
Like,
just- there we go.
Sometimes I do think there's a place for it.
Yeah.
I do think it adds a relatability
Yeah.
to a sentence.
yeah, because you don't want to come off as
comparatively.
ChatGPT.
Right.
You want to show a bit of humanization in your
It's
vocabulary.
human. It's human.
It's human.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you see like the top debaters, and they're just spamming what's like. It feels like ChatGPT. You
It
know,
literally,
especially like
yeah.
in political
it's
debates.
so well articulated that I'm almost
Yeah.
a little too.
like a Ben
Yeah.
Shapiro.
Yeah.
You know, he's
yeah,
just.
I'm like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how?
You're like,
Slow
okay,
down.
hold on.
What about Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, he's the same. He
They're
can
all
get
the
it
same.
covered.
Yeah, they're all
the
like
same.
that. Yeah.
I think-
If I can't have just like a genuine sit down conversation and they're just like, if they're trying to always step over me like that,
Oh.
I can't do it.
Like,
Because
hear-
you can't
hear me
find
out.
common ground with someone who's always trying to get above you.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Hear me out. So like, I've seen Charlie Kirk like debating political stuff, but I really want to see him doing sports debate. I feel like he could be really good at sport debate. If we get him here and with Nav, man.
Are you a sports guy, Minlu?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
tell him to come here and that we're gonna do some like
sport.
political crap. And then when he shows up, we'll be like, we lied to you. We're gonna talk about
Do
sports
sports
the whole
debate.
time.
And it's you versus Knopf.
I hope you've done your research.
Knopf, the topic is Minnesota
And then we'll
Vikings.
Oh, he's dead.
He's dead.
Charlie's dead.
He's dead.
Chuck
Knopf's
is gone.
Knopf's
Mr.
gone.
Kirk.
If Knopf doesn't get too pissed and walk off the set first.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I
love
really
it.
want him.
We're
to
gonna do a
sports
25
debate.
liberals versus one Republican.
Oh,
Surrounded.
if we can find 25 liberals in Sioux
In
Falls.
South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yeah. All right,
25 sports debaters versus debater. I don't know.
Man, you're chocked full of genius
5
ideas.
top debaters versus 1 master debater.
I am the master debater.
All right.
I am the master.
All right, we've got a little bit time. We're
Right,
closing in
that
on
was
the
the
end of this
joke.
episode. For this last
I know.
segment, guys, this is called What Are We Booming?
Oh!
This is a segment
My
where we're going to
pants.
talk about...
Oh,
Here's
crap.
that direction.
Oh, I didn't think about the name. I'm going to keep it, though.
I love it.
This
I love
is the
it.
segment where we talk about the movies or books or TV shows or video games or activities or whatever we're doing that we want to talk about and chat and
heck
tell you
yeah.
guys about. I'll start.
What a great
I'll
idea.
start.
Siege.
Tyler, the
Killer
Creator's
segments.
Chromacopia just came out.
Sean,
Love that
Sean.
album.
Dude,
it's
it's
so
good.
good. It's grown
It's
on me
really
so much.
good.
Yeah.
I already have the vinyl.
Really?
I pre-ordered it
Already?
before the album came out.
I've not
I
had the
have
chance to listen yet.
I have from like the first pressing of vinyls that they did. I got.
that means-
Really?
Is he gonna sign one of them, or like sign like a limited number?
It's,
limited
yeah. It
number
was a
to-
limited edition.
number
It was a
of them?
test print, so I don't even know if it sounds good. I don't have a vinyl.
Well, and I heard
player.
that
I have
vinyl
so
has
many
a,
vinyls, by the way.
The vinyl has a Cardi feature too. I'm pretty sure it's Cardi. That
What?
not on the digital.
See, I would
What?
see, and I now
What?
I need to buy. I need to get.
I think it is
A
Cardi.
vinyl
I
player
could be
so bad.
mistaken. It's one of those rappers that never drops. You know.
Okay, well, yeah. Anyways, yeah. What have you guys been? Yeah, what are you guys booming?
I've not had the chance to check that album yet out.
You'll like it. It's
I-
good.
I-
I
it's
like
so
it. a lot.
good.
The
I love
first
it.
three album or the first three
Ratata,
songs.
that's a good song.
Those
That's
songs-
one of my
dude,
favorite
and,
ones.
Dude, Noid.
I think Igor is his best work ever.
Absolutely.
think so?
Ever.
Absolutely.
Top to bottom. I don't think there's a
Absolutely.
miss on the album. And I remember the first few listens it's hard to get into, kind of
Yeah.
just like Frank Ocean.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
once it clicks with you, it's so good. That's the best type of music in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
He's unmatched.
Music
he's
that
unmatched.
grows on you
Music
is
that-
the
yeah.
best.
He's kind of like he's the new Kanye West, if you ask me.
I think music that grows on you is the best because it challenges you. It challenges you to first broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
And it challenges you intellectually to try and catch the emotion, the vibe, the
To
meaning.
understand why you enjoy it.
Yes, exactly.
And then
And
you
that's why
start
I
crying.
think Frank Ocean Blonde is one of the best albums of all time. Not because it's like, to me, like my best album to listen to, but the way it intellectually, like,
The way it grows.
Yeah,
on you.
it's really
the way
weird.
you understand
Yeah.
it. The more times you listen to it.
Yeah, like
Like the movie Tenet. The way you
Yes,
understand it, the more
yes.
times you
Fact.
that
rewatch
movie
it.
is fire.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. What are you guys booming?
like
What are you guys doing?
Eddie, what are you booming about?
What am I booming?
What are you booming?
Okay, I'm almost finished with the first Game of Thrones book.
Yo.
And
yes.
I've never watched the show. I don't really plan to watch the show because I heard the ending sucks. But I am thoroughly impressed with the world building in that book. Like it's a whole political landscape across an entire like nation.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's able to make it so comprehensive and everything is fascinating to me. And like the way his mind must be, spread about is insane.
Dude, those books and those that TV show,
Yeah.
like 400
And
characters at once.
Yeah,
like,
he's not
that's-
afraid to kill any of them off, which I respect because like it adds a sense of realism to it. You
Love
know?
that stuff.
And so yeah, I've been reading that, and then I've been listening to a lot of Breakins. I don't know, you know who Breakins is?
No, actually.
No.
You should check him out. He has this album called Hypochondriac, and it's one of the best pieces of like entire works of all time because it feels like one entire song pretty much, and like. He has such a streamlined and maintained and focused vibe that he's going for throughout the entire album, and there's so many little noises and stuff. It's all self-produced by him.
Ooh,
It's
love
genuinely
that.
like fascinating. Even if there's some song I don't totally love, it's genuinely fascinating to listen to because it's like so well put together.
I'm gonna
You'd
check
really
that out.
like Breakins
Hypochondriac.
especially. Hypochondriac.
Okay.
Yep, it's
All
a great
right.
album.
break-ons.
Break-ons.
Jack, what are you booming about?
What are you booming?
Well, this is a couple weeks, probably about 2 weeks ago. I just finished Succession.
10 out of 10 show.
Finally finished
Yeah.
it. I've
Still
been
need
watching
to
it for
finish
like over a year, and
No
I've
spoiler review of the whole.
no
the whole
spoiler
show.
review. I think it is the most well-written and well-acted piece of media, of drama media content I've ever seen.
Better than Breaking Bad.
Better than Breaking Bad.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I think,
agree.
but I think in sense of maybe not story. I think Breaking Bad story wise is probably a little bit better written.
Yeah.
I think the characters and the dialogue and every scene of Succession is so incredibly nuanced.
I'm working through that show, and it is so good.
Well,
It
and
is
it's
so
not
good.
as much focused on the story. Like the story is a lot more of a segue to get you to those interactions and stuff. Because I think the main push and theme of that is like human relationships.
Yeah.
It showed.
all
It
of
focused on the characters'
small
dynamics as well.
interactions.
I think the show does a great job at showing how complex relationships are among people. Like every relationship has nuance to it, and little things like there'll be a scene where two characters can walk into a room with one vibe and leave the room with a completely different vibe. And I think a lot of shows try to like, this is how this character is. They have these strong, very defined characteristics, and sometimes it works, but really that's not how people are.
Yeah.
People are very,
Their moral compass ebbs and flows.
it ebbs and flows.
It
and,
ebbs and flows.
and this moral compass
fluctuates.
fluctuates. The show does a great job at like, I don't know how they wrote that. Like there's so, and
I mean, so much of it is improvised to a point.
Oh, that too.
Like, I mean, they like a lot of it is absolutely like written.
Yeah.
But the
some
fact
of
that
that's
they-
gotta be.
it has to
like,
be.
The fact they get mostly no-name actors.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
now they're making
Good.
waves. Jeremy Strong is making
Kieran
waves.
Culkin.
I've
Yeah.
seen.
that's another point too, is the way that the characters are able to deliver that nuance is, my mind is boggled. I'm like, I have no idea how to attack that.
I think
you
the
know?
actor of Tom Wambsgans is my favorite actor in the show. I think he's the best character and he's the best actor in that show. And then when you learn that he's British, playing a Midwestern man.
What?
Yeah,
Dude,
That's crazy.
Some
Like,
people
his
are-
voice in Deadpool vs Wolverine, that's his real voice.
What?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
crazy.
just
I didn't
now
know
learning
that. I
this.
did not know that either.
Yeah, he's
No
actually
way.
British, and he plays a Midwesterner perfectly. You wouldn't
That
think,
dude is a top tier
I
actor.
had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea.
A top tier actor. I have no idea.
Piss
That's
posh, you think I play a
amazing.
Midwestern?
Check out Succession
my mind.
if you haven't seen it.
L to the OG.
Man,
Yes,
what are
check
you
out
booming?
One of booming. I just watched the movie called Dee Dee at the State Theater.
Tell us about it.
How do you spell it?
Diddy.
Diddy.
Yeah, wait, hold up.
What are you watching, man?
What's the plot? What's the plot?
You're into some shady stuff.
There's no baby oil.
I found
is
on
there?
the black web.
Men's Didi party.
But it's about this it's took place in the early 2000s. So this is the beginning of YouTube.
Okay.
And the director took most of his life, and it's about like a young teenager going through his summer break, through like his phases, through his friendships and then romantics and stuff, and yeah. It's a very
it good?
it's not bad. It's like a very awkward movie, but it's a young teen movie.
Like a coming of age story.
coming of age is from middle school to high school.
Would
Freshman.
you recommend it?
It's all right. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
You like a good coming of age story?
Coming of age stories are.
Coming of age
Depends
That's
like which
great,
ones. Like Perks of Wildfire, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
How would you define a coming of age story?
Coming of age story is a story about someone transitioning from teen to adulthood. Like,
You're learning an important life
Yeah.
lesson.
I used to
usually.
think that I actually, because I just wrote a paper on coming of age stories, because I always had it in my head for whatever reason that coming of age story is just like it's defined by like year, if that makes sense. So it's like this is this year's coming of age films. Like it's like focusing more on what's going on. It's a lot less evergreen, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what defined
I
it,
think
and it
coming-
usually used young people. But a coming of age story is actually based on the people in the story themselves and where they're at in their lives.
Coming of age story probably resonate a lot with us
Yeah.
in this
yeah.
era
Are
of
we in a
life.
coming of age story?
This is our coming of age story. Yep.
We are mid coming of age story.
Are we,
We are
adults?
mid coming.
I could argue that
we're
the social
edging
I could argue
of
that the
age
social
right now.
network
We're
is a
edging.
coming of age story. Honestly, I think an argument can be made.
Huh?
An argument can be made that
We were not paying attention. I was lost.
we can move on. That's
No,
fine.
what'd you
What'd you
say?
say?
I
See,
think
we're
an
just doing a
argument
bit.
can be made that the social network is a coming of age story.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is,
For the
yeah.
age of
Mark Zuckerberg.
the internet and
Sure.
like big tech and stuff.
Yeah.
Sure, I can
would
see
agree.
it. I can see it.
And showing how business and fame changes a man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for this episode. Check us out at Late Night Boomin' on all of the platforms.
No,
Daylight
Jack is up
Boomin'
here.
as well. Go to badaboomcrew.com/shop to get your fire merch. Guys, where can they find you?
Like on Instagram.
Yeah, like person. If you want to push some personal
Jack
stuff.
X Unru on Jack X Un UN right here.
It's just Min.
Minlu.films on Instagram.
Yeah.
Seizures taken.
See, just take it. You can find me at The Four Swords on YouTube.
What? Niche cut.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week on Late Night Boomin'.
Peace, fam.
Peace.